So many layers of intellect here. Absolutely amazing. Will we see Rob Wolf issue a public retraction? Probably not, given how he's mental gymnastics his way out of this, but whatever. Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to be discussing an anti-vegan who goes by the name of Rob Wolf, and he is a very special one. He is the co-author of the book Sacred Cow, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, which, by the way, if you don't know, this book was also co-authored by our favorite anti-vegan, Diane Rogers, who, by the way, still hasn't unblocked me on Instagram or Twitter. But anyway, if you head to his website and go to the store section, you will see him selling a Carnivore 101 diet guide, as well as some other paleo diet resources. So all of this should give you guys a basic idea of the kind of anti-vegan we're working with here. He recently heavily embarrassed himself, making a very bold anti-vegan claim, which was met very quickly with several counterexamples falsifying his bold anti-vegan claim. Let's take a look at what this embarrassing and wrong claim was. He made reference to a new article concerning that raw vegan mother who irresponsibly starved her baby to death and how she has now officially been sentenced to life in prison for doing so. In his tweet covering this, he said, "Say what you will about the quote evils of meat eating, but you do not find stories of folks starving their kids to death. You do find this in vegan land. Vegan mom Sheila O'Leary gets life in prison for son Ezra's starvation." Now I want to read the first part of this tweet one more time and you'll understand later why it is we need to do this. "Say what you will about the quote evils of meat eating, but you do not find, I repeat, do not find stories of folks starving their kids to death. You do find this in vegan land." So the clear implication of this tweet is that you will not find and therefore cannot find cases of parents who are meat eaters neglecting their child to the point of malnutrition leading to death. But you will find this in vegan land or from vegan parents. So if you think about it, all we need to do to falsify his bold claim is provide only one counterexample. And this should get him to retract his original tweet, right? Well, no. And Rob has been met with several counterexamples and has yet to retract this tweet. And even goes as far to say that he never even meant in the first place that you will only find this in, vegan land or that you can't find this in meat-eating land. Let's first have a look at the counterexamples that were given to him. It took myself less than 15 seconds to find 2 counterexamples to his claim, and I made this known to Rob in the form of a retweet. Somebody else made reference to a website called infomalia.org in which 17 counterexamples were discovered. Let's go through some of them. Malnourished toddler and baby rescued from filthy Oklahoma City home. Mother arrested. Couple arrested after 4 malnourished children are found, 2 in a dog cage. Ohio police arrest woman after teacher's tip leads to investigators to malnourished child. 8 children found very malnourished. Parents arrested. Mother arrested over diet of malnourished 2-year-old daughter left at home in Sendai. Woman arrested for child neglect when infant found malnourished. So to be clear, all of those cases were with meat-eating parents. But wait, it gets even more interesting. Another person named Rob cited a CDC stat stating at least 1 in 7 children have experienced child abuse or neglect in the past year in the United States. This is likely an underestimate because many cases are unreported. In 2020, 1,750 children died of abuse and neglect in the United States. And of course, the stat made no mention of vegan diets. So what was Rob Wolf's response to this? Well, Rob, you are ill-informed on a host of topics, so why not this? Do a simple search of vegan children death. Is it a pandemic? No. But it clearly exposes a problem. So first of all, we have strong reason to believe that Rob has seen the host of counterexamples that have been offered which directly conflict with the initial implication of his claim that you will not find cases of childhood neglect in the form of malnutrition in the meat world, but instead the vegan world. And while having seen these examples, he still hasn't retracted the claim. But keep watching because you're going to see a point later where he actually responds to one of the counterexamples, and what he says is just unbelievable. But first, let's dig a little deeper into what Rob Wolf, the person who made the original tweet, said to this other dude named Rob. In spite of being made aware of all of these counterexamples to his original claim, Rob Wolf makes a different claim, stating that vegan children death is not a pandemic, but the results from searching vegan children death clearly exposes a problem. Now, what exactly does he mean by problem? Does he mean to say that the rates of vegan children dying from malnutrition from their vegan parents are higher than omnivorous children dying from malnutrition from their meat-eating parents? I checked this thread thoroughly to see if Rob Wolf offered any sort of comparative analysis indicating this, but could find nothing of the sort. In fact, if we go off of this thread alone, there seem to be more cases of omnivorous children dying being reported than vegan children dying. Now, of course, this Twitter thread alone does not prove that more omnivorous children are dying from malnutrition from their neglectful parents than, say, vegan children per parent, but still, I wanted to point this out just because it's so ironic. So back to the original claim, many people were wondering that after being met with so many counterexamples, if Robb Wolf would retract his initial claim. A vegan who goes by the name of Fish asked, "Now that you've been presented with examples that falsify your ridiculous claim, will you be issuing a public retraction?" And even myself, who was just so baffled by the fact that he has not provided a public retraction, said, "You have to wonder what level of mental gymnastics a person has to go through to keep this tweet up while having been presented with so much evidence falsifying their claim, lol." Now, it turns out there was indeed mental gymnastics, and we'll get to that in a second, but just to be clear, there are way more counterexamples in the original thread than what I presented in this video, and I didn't provide them because this video would be way too long if I did. So out of curiosity, I went ahead and wanted to see if Robb Wolf responded directly to any of these people making these criticisms. One person said, "Judging by the thread, this didn't go terribly well, Robb." And then Robb said it went exactly as he expected. Now, excuse my language, but what the f does that mean? Did Robb make this tweet expecting to be just completely destroyed by a bunch of counterexamples falsifying his claim? Is he like a sort of a intellectual masochist? He just made this tweet wanting to be made to look stupid? Like, what do you mean this is what you expected? And here's something very interesting, and this is where the clear mental gymnastics that I made reference to earlier come into play. Somebody said, "Say what? A simple Google search revealed multiple cases, including this one. This incident is related to criminality, not veganism, you muppet." And now here is Robb's very confusing and just absolutely ridiculous response. "If you had anything approximating reading comprehension, you'd see I did not say that abuse is a sole preview of vegans. Do your search with this vegan child death." But wait, hold on, what? Robb says in his original tweet that you will not and hence cannot find stories of folks starving their kids to death in the meat-eating world, but that you will find this in vegan land. And somebody provides a counterexample showing that you clearly can find stories of parents starving their children to death in meat-eating land. And then Robb ironically gives this response talking about reading comprehension, clearly showing a lack of reading comprehension skills toward his original tweet. Absolute genius, guys. It has been 4 days since the original tweet was made, and we have strong reason to believe, we basically know that Robb has been made aware of counterexamples to his claim, completely falsifying his claim. And Robb's response is that he didn't mean what his tweet actually said, and instead that he meant that it's just a clear problem within vegans. And even if he did mean this, which again, that is just not what he meant. If you just read the tweet again for the 3rd millionth time, whatever, he has yet to provide any sort of comparative analysis showing that vegan children, die of malnutrition from neglectful parents to any higher degree per parent than omnivorously raised children or meat-eating children. So many layers of intellect here. Absolutely amazing. Will we see Robb Wolf issue a public retraction? Probably not, given how he's mental gymnastics his way out of this, but whatever. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you support my work and want to get early access to content, you can support me by clicking the Patreon link in the pinned comment. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online and all the debunks for them. That'll also be linked below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,